Hello there, and a very good Wednesday afternoon to you. Welcome along. It's Wednesday, October the 15th, 2025, and we're live here on Global Irish Radio. It's the Daily Crack Show. So good to be back with you live. Not with you yesterday, but we have a note. We have a good excuse. If you're listening Monday, you know that we were off to Galway yesterday, to Westport, the lovely town of Westport. Beautiful town here in the west of Ireland. Lovely touristy town, and lots of nice little cafes and restaurants and hotels and bars and restaurants to cater for all those lovely tourists. We went to Westport yesterday to do our driving theory test, and success. We did well. We passed the theory, but the true test, of course, that's only the first hurdle of many hurdles. And I've come to the conclusion that it's a complete money racket. $45 to do the theory test. We dispensed with that handily enough. Don't like to beat my own drum, but 100 out of 100 in record time. Out the door long before anybody else who were there long before us. But anyway, there you go. I digress. I sound like Trump now. I'm very good at this stuff. I make deals. But anyway, there you go. That's just one hurdle out of the way. Up next is the permit. You have to apply for permit. That's another $45. Then you have to get an eye test. Then you have to get a doctor's test. My goodness, I was looking at all the steps involved to get an Irish driver's license. Your US driving license, for anybody coming back to this country, you will find out it is not worth the paper it's written on in terms of being useful or being able to be exchanged. If you come from other countries where they drive on the right side of the road or wherever it is, you can exchange it. But there you go. The next step is the permit. And I think the astronauts at NASA go through less physical tests than the Irish driving system puts you through. But there you go. And then you have to get after the permit. What is it next? It's the you have to do the driving test, and that's another $85. And then after that, you have to do the 300 in driving lessons, and then 65 for the driver's license. So all said and done, you'll be down about $600. The cost of getting on these great Irish roads. Anyway, welcome. I digress. I'm venting now. Sorry. It's too early for that. Welcome along, friends. This is Sean G and the Daily Crack with you on Global Irish Radio. Happy Hump Day. We hope you have a lovely Wednesday wherever you are. And it is so good to be with you back live and in person. More good news. Ireland got the win last night. Yes, in the soccer, I mean. The boys in green, don't you know? They were up against Armenia. And they needed a win, and they got it in what the Irish Sun describes as a match made by Evan Ferguson, I should say. Evan Ferguson got a 72nd minute goal against the Armenians to get the win at the Aviva Stadium last night. We needed it. Ireland get to bag 3 points, putting us in a playoff fight. It is by no means... Oh my goodness, we are hanging on by a thread, but the dream is still alive. And I think I'm being told matters not being helped by the fact that Hungary and Portugal drew 2-2. That is not helping our cause. So we live to fight another day. It's good news. We'll take the win for now. Irish soccer fans happy at that last night. We needed it. If we didn't get it, we were done for. But there you go. We live to fight another day, and that's cause for celebration. A wee bit of celebration on a Tuesday night, coming into a Wednesday here in Ireland. So, oh boy, it's a tough road ahead, qualification. But you know, as I say, there is that little chance. Welcome along, friends. GlobalIrishRadio.com, GIR.ie. We are the Irish Diaspora Station. After this programme today, by the way, we'll be going down under to Auckland, New Zealand, for Oliver Lee's programme. Oliver's a Galway man living out there or down there for many, many years. Does a lovely, lovely programme once a week, and we're delighted and privileged to share it with you here on the Global Irish Radio platform. It's what we do. We bring you Irish radio programmes from Irish communities all around the world. So stay tuned at 4 o'clock. First, you have to endure an hour of the Daily Crack with me. So we're here with you most days between 3 to 4. And looking at our papers today we have the Irish Sun, which is basically an English newspaper that they slap on an Irish headline here and there, or different few stories in between. So not a great on newspaper. They say it's the best value. Margaret says it's the best value in Ireland, coming in at $1.90, but sure, there's nothing in it. We usually have the Star or the Mirror or the Independent or something like that. But there you go. Looking at the Irish Sun today, Brendan Courtney's on the front page of the Sun, and Brendan Courtney is an RTE presenter. He's kind of a fill-in presenter. He's the guy, if you hear his voice on the radio, the person that should be on probably got fired. Right now he's filling in for Ray D'Arcy, who exited the station round about this time last week. A shock exit from the station as there was a big shake-up there, and there's been lots of talk about the changes there, and changes to the format and changes to the lineup in terms of the presenters. But Ray D'Arcy is out, and Brendan Courtney talking about the fallout from that, the effect it's had on Ray's team. He has a team of 8. He does an hour-and-a-half radio show. We need more staff here on this programme, Margaret. We have Margaret. Ray D'Arcy has 8, a team of 8, to put together an hour-and-a-half radio show, and he's on a salary of 250. Well, he was on a salary of 250,000, but contract negotiations, as you well know, didn't go too well, and it always resulted in the shock exit of Ray from RTE last week. But last time you probably heard Brendan Courtney on there was when he stood in for Ryan Tubridy, who also got canned following the payments controversy and all that happened way back. That's ancient history now, or it feels like it anyway. So he's on talking about how he's the Band-Aid guy, or he's the guy that steps in because the show, as you know, must go on. So says Brendan, and that's exactly what he's going to be on there for the next 3 weeks as RTE scramble, or they figure out what they're going to do next in that slot. A lot of the other slots have been filled and stuff like that. But Ray D'Arcy's exit was, I suppose, maybe unexpected. Contract negotiations instead didn't go too well. I think in the end, Ray stormed out. He wasn't a happy camper anyway. So that's the latest on that. It is Brendan Courtney's voice, and of course he does a show on RTE, Keys to My Life. And the guest last week, I think, wasn't it? What's his name? I forget his name now, but anyway. I kind of thinking for the life of me, Collins, what's his name? Anyway, but there you go. He does a show where he takes people back through. Oh, it was actually it was the chief medical officer last week, I think, Dr. Tony Holohan, and he takes them back through their life and looks at the places they live, the houses that they grew up in, and different stuff like that. And so they look at their lives through the prism of the houses that they and the places that they lived throughout their life. So it's an interesting story, and I think it's doing fairly well on RT. You can watch it on the player. But that's the guy, Brendan Courtney, who is filling in all of this week and for the next couple of weeks at RTE. Now, meanwhile, I see, we're talking about the salaries at RTE. Meanwhile, I see it's been announced, or a lot of this story is picked up by a lot of the papers today. Graham Norton, who of course started out, we often talk about him here on the programme. He does his brand new podcast, Wanging On, but you'll know him from his chat show, Graham Norton. He's a West Cork native and started out with Father Ted. It's been revealed that he earned $2.79 million last year for his chat show. So that makes the RT salaries really look like chump change. We're talking about the fact that Ray D'Arcy on $250. But of course the numbers and stuff like that, the ratings. If you pay your way, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't have a problem with I'm not really in favour of salary caps or chump changing the presenters, because you don't necessarily get the best talent. RTE are really cutting back on the salary. They've gone from one extreme to the other now, and there was a time when some of the top presenters were getting close to $1 million in this country, and now the top rated one, the most up until recently, was Joe Duffy, who finished up on Liveline. He was on about 350. So and you see Claire Byrne leaving for News Talk, probably because of the salary cap. People think that Pat Kinney left RTE because of the salary restrictions, and they keep a tight rein on you as well in terms of the endorsements of what you can and you can't do. So you can't do a whole lot without it being approved by RTE. So when you look at Graham Norton's salary of about just under $3 million there, and you look at what they're getting paid at RTE, you think, well, kind of chump change. We do know there's a population difference and a listenership difference as well, but there you go. That Ryan Tubridy recently moved to England as well, though he's not doing quite so well as he was in this country. Somebody said he's on less than 100,000 a year. He would have been on several 100,000 with RTE. That includes the payments under the tables as well. But anyway, there you go. That's the latest. That's the front page of your Irish Daily Sun today, and a story that's in a lot of the papers as well. Now, if you ever feel the need to get in touch with us here at the programme, love to hear from you. Studio at gir.ie. We're coming at you live from just outside Castlebar in lovely County Mayo. Not a bad day, remaining fairly settled. The weather's not that bad at the moment. As I say, high pressure continues to dominate. That's what the weather folks are telling us anyway. So it's kind of dry, it's overcast and cloudy, but not much in the way of rain, which is nice. If it's not raining, at least you can go outside and get a bit of fresh air and stuff like that. But we're not seeing much in the way of the sun. But I see some of the papers in the Irish Mirror online today that the story about stormy clouds ahead. The settle streak is expected to come to an end fairly soon, and Met Éireann has warned that rain will return this weekend, with mixed conditions expected to continue into next week. So the settle spell the high pressure moving off. But looking ahead, attention is already turning to a more concerning long-range forecast. If you've been watching this, weather models are beginning to show signs of a potentially significant Atlantic storm that could impact Ireland later this month. They think, depending, and of course they have all these different models and it all depends on the trajectory of these weather systems, but some of them have it with this pretty big weather system coming straight for Ireland, and if it becomes named, it'll become named Bram, which is we're on beat. We had Amy 2 weeks ago. Up next, it's Bram, as in Bram Stoker. The Irish Met Service named that storm after the guy who wrote Dracula and all that. But so a big weather system off, way off. And it could hit us by the end of the month, by about very late October. That's the latest on that. But of course, anything, much like politics, anything could happen in the meantime. But something to keep in the back of your mind. It's a big one. If it comes our way, it could do some serious damage. And as I say, weather folks keeping one eye on that. Not to worry yet, though. Now, Ireland's safest county has been named. Oh, yes, it has. Would you have any idea which is the safest county to live in Ireland? Think about that there for a minute now, among yourselves. Well, it turns out that Roscommon tops the list. Yeah, the Midlands County was branded the safest place in Ireland to live, and that's following research by a Galway-based real estate agent. And they looked at several criteria, including the population, the number of people, or the number of people per crime committed, so crime per capita, and stuff like that, and the number of Gardaí, visible Gardaí and otherwise. Roscommon ranked highest when all of the scores were tallied, making it statistically at least the safest county in Ireland to raise a family in 2025. So that's lovely Roscommon here in the West, topping the list, getting the honours as the safest place statistically to live in this wee country of ours. And that was followed by, you'd think that Leitrim would have been top of the list, but Leitrim came in second place. So Leitrim comes second, and then lovely Mayo here, third of the list, followed by Sligo, Donegal, Monaghan, Clare, Kilkenny, Longford and Galway, rounding out the top 10 counties, the safest counties in this wee country of ours. And then looking at the least safe counties, the counties that made that list: Westmeath, Limerick, Louth, Cork, Waterford, Wicklow, Kildare, Meath, Carlow, Cavan. And the least safest place in the country to live, not surprisingly, is Dublin. So there you go. Just in case you're planning on moving to Ireland or planning on moving to a safer county, Roscommon tops the list there. So there you go, statistically at least, and based on all those criteria. Another day, another presidential debate. It seems like there's one every day at this point. I don't ever recall so many debates, and there's only the two of them, so they're going at it. It's the same thing over and over, so you tend to tune out after a while, because, I mean, how much can you take, really? But the two candidates, they faced off yesterday on News Talk in what listeners were slamming as a woeful presidential debate, is how many of the listeners describing it. So maybe they're getting tired listening to the same old thing over and over. Pat Kenny presided over this debate, and Heather once again was on the attack, and that's the way she started out, nice and lovey-dovey and all of that, and then the pressure came on Jim Gavin, and he exited the race. So then there were two, and it's Heather and Catherine Connolly. And of course, Catherine Connolly doing so well in the polls, figured she had to change. She had no more Mrs. Nice, no more Mrs. Nice Heather. She had to. She's gone on the attack, because we know from experience that that's the kind of campaigning and negative campaigning and that stuff that tends to resonate or gets through and makes a difference and moves the polls. Of course, it's early on yet, although this is the last full week. It's a short campaign, 4 weeks, and this is the last full week of campaigning. Heather took a break from campaigning yesterday to join a former pal, a Labour TD, Mary Upton, for a cuppa. Yeah, they stopped off at the Bewley's Cafe there in Dublin on Grafton Street. They're pictured in the papers today. I think a lot of the papers have picked up this story and the picture as well. So it's Heather Humphreys enjoying a cup of tea, and interestingly enough, the former Labour TD Mary Upton has said she will vote for Heather Humphreys. There you go. Even though the Labour Party have endorsed Catherine Connolly, and I see elsewhere Alan Kelly, who is a fairly high former leader of the Labour Party, he's not too gone on Catherine Connolly either. He says he's not going to vote for her. He's going to be coming out for Heather as well. And of course, Micheál Martin said it's going to be awkward if Catherine wins, but for Taoiseach, because he came out on Sunday, I think it was, and said that he'd be giving his vote to Heather Humphreys as well. So there you go. Meanwhile, Catherine Connolly has been criticising the Irish government's plan to pay asylum seekers €10,000 to withdraw their applications and leave the country altogether. Didn't know we were doing this, but it seems to be new. It's a new initiative. Catherine Connolly says it's us buying our way out of international obligations. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but she doesn't like it. The government think it's a good idea. Jim Callaghan, the Justice Minister, confirmed that a letter offering $10,000 per family has been sent to all 33,000 asylum seekers in this country. So they essentially get a debit card with 10 grand on it, and they'll be told, go away now, be off with you, get out, go home. They figured that's less expensive than processing their asylum claims, and I suppose if they they have to house them and feed them and all of that stuff. So maybe it's not a bad idea, but Catherine Connolly thinks it's a bad idea, and that's where the candidates are kind of differing as well. So that's the latest on that. Elsewhere, Enoch Burke, he's been back at school. And he's been pictured in a lot of the papers today and on the telly last night as well. He could face criminal charges now after forcibly entering. The charges would be for forcible entry following him forcing his way past a security guard at Wilson Hospital School in County Westmeath yesterday. And the school have hired a security guard to keep Enoch Burke out. Yes, they have. And both the security guard and Enoch pictured in a lot of the papers, and we've seen them on the telly last night, and Enoch pushing his way past. It's a bit of company for Enoch standing outside the school all day. Now he has someone to talk to, although it's a little bit hostile, and they're seen, Enoch is seen trying to force his way past the security guard. A judge is suggesting Enoch pick up the tab for that security guard, so he'll be paying well for the company that he enjoys or doesn't enjoy outside Wilson Hospital School in County Westmeath. Meanwhile, the other Burkes, and by the way, it's worth noting that he's currently paying $2,000 a day for every day that he shows up in fines. That's what the judge has imposed on Enoch Burke. But the judge is saying maybe it'd be more effective to have him pay for the security that is there to keep him out, even though he's forcibly passing him by. And there's the suggestion that Enoch could face now criminal charges, and also his daddy, who drops him off, could be charged with aiding and abetting Enoch Burke. So, the Burkes, they're not going away. They are persistent, if nothing else. Meanwhile, the other Burkes have been targeting the presidential candidate, Catherine Connolly, and they have her in their sights. They interrupted her canvass yesterday morning in County Westmeath, and there was a situation last week at University College Galway where Elijah kind of hijacked her. Well, didn't really hijack her, but she came to the university to answer questions and to pitch to the students, and Elijah popped up and asking some tough questions, awkward questions. Anyways, he was eventually escorted out by the police, and Catherine Connolly didn't say a whole lot. She left shortly afterwards as well. But there you go. That's the latest on that. The Burkes. I can tell you there was a lot of screaming. There was a lot of shouting. There is wherever the Burkes are, you know. That's not right. There is where our Baba. Anyway, you know what I mean. The Burkes, they're certainly heard before they're seen. And Mama Burke is a force to be reckoned with. But anyway, she was targeting Catherine Connolly in Meath yesterday. Now, studio at GIR.ie. We're here with you for the hour. Most days bring you up to speed on all that's happening, the gossip, the chitter chatter of the nation, what's happening in our papers, what's happening on the telly, the radio, news, music. If there's something you want to hear, studio at GIR.ie. And we have our song and story today as well, where we bring you an Irish song, tell you the story behind it, all of that nice stuff. Later on as well, we will take a look at what's trending news-wise here in this Ireland. So the top trending serious news stories of the day as well. It's all coming away between now and 4 here on Global Irish Radio. Check us out online at globalir.com or GIR.ie. We're on as many as 25 digital platforms on Alexa and the Global Irish Radio app. So you can take us with you wherever you go. There's a new book that a lot of people are talking about this Wednesday. It's a new book about Margaret Thatcher. And it is revealing that she might have had a little extracurricular diplomacy, a little diplomacy of her own. And while the Iron Lady, of course, was famous for her steely resolve, it seems she may have also had a soft spot or two. Yeah, the book alleges she had 2 affairs during her 50-year marriage to husband Dennis. You recall that Maggie Thatcher was Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990 till they literally kicked her out, dragging and screaming. She didn't want to go, but you know, some leaders know when to go, some don't. Anyway, this new book is called Incidental Feminist, and it was released last month ahead of what would have been her 100th birthday. Now, doesn't that make you feel old? Sir Humphrey Atkins, who was Northern Ireland Secretary from 79 to 81, was her squeeze for one period of time early on in her parliamentary career. And then there was also an extracurricular friendship, we're told, with the head of PR, Lord Bell. So Lord Bell was doing more than PR, it sounds like. Historians will be busy rewriting footnotes. Tabloids are having a field day with it. Meanwhile, a bronze statue in Westminster is blushing this Wednesday following those revelations that Maggie Thatcher having extracurricular or extramarital affairs, a couple of affairs throughout her parliamentary lifetime. Eventually she died at the age of 87. She died on April the 8th, actually, 2013, following a stroke at the age of 87. What's interesting is she died at the Ritz Hotel in London, so she picked a good spot to jump off, didn't she? I wouldn't like to have been the manager that day. I remember when I was doing the training circuit in the UK, going around to different hotels for postgraduate management training, and one of the managers asked me, "Have you had a death yet?" But think about it, you know, when you're a manager in a hotel, you face all kinds of situations and circumstances, suicides and whatnot, or just people dying naturally. And it was kind of an eye-opener. So fortunately I didn't, throughout my hotel career lifetime, have anybody die on me. But there you go, lots of weird and other wild stuff did happen, I can tell you that much. But nobody died of it, so it would have been an interesting day at the Ritz that day when Maggie popped it. Anyway, speaking of bronze statues, by the way, the new and improved Molly Malone has been unveiled. And I was telling you last week that a lot of tourists in Dublin were disappointed because Molly was boarded up over the past few weeks because she was getting a bit of a makeover. They gave her a lick of paint, yeah. She's still wearing that low-cut dress and all the rest of it, and people are still trying to molest her, if you will. It all follows that tour guide that told people that rubbing her breasts would give them good luck, and so people literally took it to heart, and it became a big problem, so much so that Dublin City Council had to hire stewards for a time to keep them away from, as you say, rubbing Molly's breasts, and they became discoloured, disfigured or whatever. And so they gave her a bit of makeup. They are putting in flower beds apparently now to try and keep people away. But in the meantime, they gave her some essential maintenance. As I say, she's still wearing that low-cut dress, and people are still trying to do their thing. But that's the latest on Molly Malone. That is the latest on Molly Malone in Dublin's Fair City. She is on view once again, and people can get a glimpse of her, but people are being told, stay well away from her breasts. Stop groping the poor lady. It will not bring you good luck. GlobalIrishRadio.com, GIR.ie, studio at GIR.ie. We're live. We're with you here on Global Irish Radio. It's high time we got some music going for you. What have we got? Mary Black and the High Kings and Past the Point of Rescue. Happy Wednesday.
Kisses on my brow, sweeter than ever now. Lord, I remember how couldn't get enough of kissing. Do you know how much you're missing? No, you
to Sean G on Global Irish Radio.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Reigal Teigal Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Reigal Teigal. Listen to the Reigal Teigal on Global Irish Radio.
Hi, this is Nathan Carter, and tune in every day for Tom's Irish Radio Show, live from Chicago, 2 to 3 p.m. and Saturday for the Good Morning Ireland Radio Show from 1 to 3 on globalirishradio.com.
Here I am today, God gave and took away. I left without a home for Dan O'Hara. With these matches in me hand, in the frost and snow I stand. But here I am today, now broken hearted. Harakush na Grama Cree, won't you buy a box for me? And have the prayers of Dan from Connemara. Sure, I'll sell them cheap and low. Buy a box before you go, from the broken-hearted farmer Dan O'Hara. In the year of 64, we had acres by the score, the grandest land a man could pull a plow through. But the landlord came, you know, and he laid our houses low. Here I am today, in a broken-hearted. Harakush na Grama Cree, won't you buy a box for me? And have the prayers of Dan from Connemara. Sure, I'll sell them cheap and low. Buy a box before you go, from the broken-hearted farmer Dan O'Hara. For 20 years or more did misfortune cross me door. My poor old wife and I were sadly parted. We were scattered far and wide, and our children starved and died. But here I am today, now broken-hearted. Harakush na Grama Cree, won't you buy a box for me? And have the prayers of Dan from Connemara. Sure, I'll sell them cheap and low. Buy a box before you go, from the broken-hearted farmer Dan O'Hara. Though in frost and snow I stand beneath the shadow of God's hand, it lies warm from the brow of Dan O'Hara. And so soon with God above, I will meet the ones I love, and find the life I lost in Connemara. Kush na Grama Cree, won't you buy a box for me? And have the prayers of Dan from Connemara. Sure, I'll sell them cheap and low. Buy a box before you go, from the broken-hearted farmer Dan O'Hara. Harakush na Grama Cree, won't you buy a box for me? And have the prayers of Dan from Connemara. Sure, I'll sell them cheap and low. Buy a box before you go, from the broken-hearted farmer Dan O'Hara.
Yep, that's Nathan Carter and the story of Dan O'Hara. It's the Daily Crack with Sean G on Global Irish Radio. If you miss it live, you can catch it later on tonight, 9 o'clock. Or you can go to dailycrack.com. Drops the podcast later on today, and all previous episodes there as well. By the way, speaking of podcasts, The Irish Ranter, next episode should drop later on tonight. Had a message from the Ranter, John Gurry, yesterday or the day before. We've made plans to put together another episode later on tonight, so watch out for that dropping sometime. All going well later on. You can catch it at the irishranter.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Simple as that. Don't forget to give it a follow and you get automatic notifications when a new episode drops. So if you're looking for good podcasts, we always tell you about irishpodcasts.com, which is a link that we created, a gateway, if you will, to the most popular, most listened to podcasts here in Ireland. And there's a top 10 countdown as well. You see what we're listening to in this part of the world, and there's something in there for everybody. So check it out, irishpodcast.com. And here on Global Irish Radio, meanwhile, great programs coming your way throughout Wednesday. As we mentioned, Oliver Lee at the top of the hour, 4 o'clock. All the latest from Auckland, New Zealand. And of course, Oliver has his take on all the sports, the happenings here in Ireland. And there was some upsets over the weekend, I gather, in the GAA Club finals. One of the players, I think, was in a Kildare team. I think he's 57, and he was one of the star players, or certainly played most of the game on one of the teams there, which is quite remarkable, quite astonishing. He's had a long and illustrious career, but still playing his heart out. So that's a story that captured a lot of people's attentions. But yeah, there was some, as I said, seismic shocks, or anyway, unexpected happenings at the weekend in the GAA Club finals. So Oliver, no doubt, big into his sport, will share details and his perspective on that, and all his take on the news as well as what's happening down under there, Auckland, New Zealand, where they changed their clocks. The clocks went back in that part of the world a week or two ago, so it's an hour less than the difference. Now, Tom is back later on tonight as well. Big Tom, Tom's Irish Radio Show, live from Chicago, the best in country and Irish music, and your requests as well. So Tom at gir.ie if you want to get in on the action there. And as well, David Marks' Sounds Irish programme goes out again tonight, 6 to 8. Country and Irish, peppered with trad, nicely created by David Marks. That's the Glasgow programme here on Global Irish Radio. And last night we were watching Primetime here in Ireland, the current affairs programme that comes on after the news. And one of the stories on there was they were looking back at a bomb, an explosion that took place at Dublin Airport during the Troubles. And Margaret was telling me that we have a connection to that particular event. No, we didn't do it. We weren't involved. We have alibis. No, my uncle was using the restroom. A bomb went off in the bathroom essentially in Dublin Airport. I forget what year it was, but it was way back when things weren't as good on the island as they are these days, thanks to peace and all of the rest of it. But my uncle had just been in the bathroom at Dublin Airport, and He met the janitor on the way in as he was going out, and shortly afterwards a bomb went off, and that poor janitor lost his life. And the story of that loss of life and others who lost their lives was covered on Primetime last night. So that was interesting to watch from that perspective. So a few seconds earlier, it could have been a different story for Uncle Pete, but he lived to tell the tale. Of course, authorities followed up with him later on. He did say that he'd heard a noise, or he'd heard some kind of activity going on in the stall next to him at the time, but didn't take a whole lot of notice. It turns out the perpetrators might have been getting the bomb ready or something of that nature. But anyway, he was investigated. He was cleared. He had no part of that. But anyway, there you go. That was on Primetime last night, say. Part of our troubled past, and looking at the people that were connected to that event and those who lost life in it. And I think the government are people looking for an inquiry or something on it now. All right, it's globalirishradio.com, the Daily Crack with Sean G. Let's go back to the music, and then we shall come back, shall we, and take a look at some of the top trending series news stories of the day. Time is passing swiftly by. Here's John McNichol, and Someone is Looking for Someone Like You. We'll be back and we'll take a look at the top trending series news stories today.
Say that nobody cares where you're going, and that your life don't mean nothing at all. You've heard the saying, you reap what you're sowing. So plant a good seed and watch it grow tall. Somewhere a man's got no woman to turn to. Somewhere a woman is lonely and blue. Somewhere a child's got no mama to hold her. love's the key that will open that door. Somewhere a man's got no woman to turn to. Somewhere a woman is lonely and blue. Somewhere a child's got no mama to hold her. Someone is looking for someone like you. Think of all the time we waste complaining. Think of all the good that could be done. Think of all the friends we could be gaining. If you lift your hand to help someone. Somewhere a man's got no woman to turn to. Somewhere a woman is lonely and blue. Somewhere a child's got no mama to hold her. Someone is looking for someone like you. Somewhere a man's got no woman to turn to. Somewhere a woman is lonely and blue. Somewhere a child's got no mama to hold her. Someone is looking for someone like you. Someone is looking for someone like you. Someone is looking for someone like you.
Global Irish Radio is excited to partner with 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston, to bring you portions of the Irish Hit Parade, providing the soundtrack to your weekend. Join Paul Sullivan on Saturdays 3 to 7 p.m. Irish time and famous Seamus Mulligan on Sundays 7 to 10 p.m. for a feast of Irish music. Streaming live from Boston right here on globalirishradio.com.
Yes, indeed, friends. A feast of Irish music. No, make it a banquet of Irish music at the weekends here on Global Irish Radio. Courtesy of our good friends out there at Irish 950 WROL AM, the Spirit of Boston. Now, tickets for the Luke Combs concerts must be going well because he is set to play a second date at County Meads, Slane Castle in the summer of 2026. That's due to overwhelming demand. American country music alive and well in this country. The country music star had already been confirmed to play the iconic Irish venue on the 18th of July as part of his My Kindness Saturday Night tour of Europe and North America. Second date has been added now on the 19th of July. So there you go. Fans of Luke Combs will be happy to hear that. Now, what else we got for you? Oh, some of the top trending serious news stories of the day, friends. We're live here on Global Irish Radio, the Daily Crack, and we like to touch on what's making the news here in the afternoons. And politicians have been told to stop bringing up the presidential election in the Dáil. See, we're not the only ones that's getting sick of the presidential election. I knew it. The Ceann Comhairle, the Speaker of the House, she is sick and tired of it too, turns out. Several references were made to the upcoming vote during leaders' questions this afternoon, and the Ceann Comhairle, Verona Murphy, said the president's office is meant to be above politics. There will be no mention of the presidential election. We have agreed under salient rules the president's office is above debate. So there you go. She's getting sick of it too, because everywhere you look, it's presidential election speak, isn't it? We're sick and tired of it. I've never seen so many debates. Never seen so many debates in all of my life. But there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles. The government has beaten Aontú to the punch as the confidence motion in the Taoiseach is getting underway today. Yeah, the government has brought forward a motion of confidence in Taoiseach and Minister for Foreign Affairs Simon Harris this afternoon, preempting a no confidence motion from Aontú set up for next week. So they beat them to the punch there. Got them off the hop. The debate on the motion got underway at approximately 1:30 p.m. today. And you guessed it, the Taoiseach will survive this no confidence motion. Merely procedural, merely kind of embarrassing kind of stuff. Opposition kind of stuff, tactics to make trouble for the government and that kind of stuff. A 16-year-old boy, what is the world coming to? A 16-year-old boy has been charged with the murder of father of four, Barry Daly, in Doneraile. in Cork on Sunday. We talked about this one on the programme yesterday. It's a story that's getting a lot of attention all week. As you can imagine, he was brought before Middleton District Court this morning. He is the third person and the second teenager to be charged with Mr Daly's murder. He was remanded in custody to Oberstown Children's Detention Campus. Neither of the juveniles can be identified because of their age, but Barry Daly was found outside his home in Dollarail on Sunday, and Barry was a postman, and some trouble there in the late hours, the wee hours of Saturday night, Sunday morning. Elsewhere, Gardaí are investigating the fatal stabbing of a juvenile in Donamead in County Dublin this afternoon. The incident occurred at what appears to be a care facility in the north of the city. Gardaí and emergency services were called to the scene at around midday. A number of juveniles, again, were involved in what Gardaí have described as a serious incident at a residential home in the Grattonwood apartment complex. Trouble everywhere you look. Those, friends, are some of the top trending serious news stories of the day here in Mother Ireland.
When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. It's a song which symbolises the essence of Irishness, and strangely it was written in 1912 by three Americans in the United States. The words were composed by Chauncey Alcott, who was born in 1858 in Buffalo, New York. Chauncey's mother, Margaret Doyle, came from Killalee, a village about 20 miles from Cork City. He was aided by George Graff Jr. These two Americans gave a romanticised view of Ireland. The music was written by classically trained pianist and composer Ernest R. Ball. Chauncey Alcott possessed a beautiful singing voice suitable for singing Irish ballads, and he had a great stage presence. Starting at a young age, he sang in a variety of shows in which Irish songs were featured. He moved to London in 1890 to have his voice trained, and while living there, he performed in operas. 4 years later, he returned to New York to a successful Broadway career. He appeared and sung in 8 Irish stage productions that included Mavnareen in 1892 and The Isle of Dreams in 1913. Chauncey wrote many Irish songs, mostly in collaboration with other composers. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling was composed for the musical The Isle of Dreams. This show opened in Broadway in 1913 with Chauncey taking the leading role. Even though it closed after only a month, Chauncey's rendition of the song greatly enchanted the audience, and the song seemed to have a life of its own without the stage show. Its words and melody made people happy, and it became Chauncey's signature tune. By popular demand, he continued singing it for the rest of his life. Chauncey enjoyed a successful 30-year stage career. He died in Monte Carlo in 1932. During the First World War, John McCormick recorded When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and this light-hearted song became possibly the most beloved song about the Irish in the United States. In the beginning of the 20th century, the Irish in the United States were beginning to establish themselves as a proud ethnic group, and this song made them feel good about themselves. It has been used as incidental background music to approximately 30 movies. Over 200 artists have recorded the song, among them Bing Crosby, Connie Francis, Foster and Allen, the Irish Tenors and Daniel O'Donnell. Along with Danny Boy and Molly Malone, it is viewed as a classic Irish song and is sung repeatedly on St. Patrick's Day. On the feast of the patron saint of Ireland, this uplifting song, which has been called the unofficial anthem of the Irish diaspora, is sung with great pride wherever in the world there are Irish people. And the chorus starts out with these lilting words: When Irish eyes are smiling, sure 'tis like a morn in spring. In the lilt of Irish laughter, you can hear the angels sing.
There's a tear in your eye, and I'm wondering why, for it never should be there at all. With such power in your smile, should a stone you'd beguile, so that never a teardrop should fall. With your sweet lilting laughter, like some fairy song, and your eyes twinkling bright as can be, you should laugh all the while, and all other times smile, and I'll smile a smile for me. Irish laughter. You can hear the angels sing when Irish hearts are happy. All the world seems bright and gay, and when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'd steal your heart away. When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a morning spring in the lilt of Irish laughter. You can hear the angels sing when Irish hearts are happy. All the world seems bright and gay, and when Irish eyes are smiling, sure they'd steal your heart away.
Yeah, it's Dermot O'Brien there, When Irish Eyes Are Smiling, and the story behind that great song. Musical soundings now of Celtic Thunder getting us ever closer to the finishing line as we board our plane, get ready to head down under Auckland, New Zealand for the Ireland Calling Show with Oliver Lee. That's coming up very, very shortly at the top of the hour. Celtic Thunder and Local Call. Last call now for flight GIR.ie to Auckland, New Zealand. Now boarding at gates Mayo. Friends, you've been listening to the Daily Crack here with Sean G on Global Irish Radio, helped out by the very able Margaret. We don't have a team of 8 like Ray Darcy. It's just me and her, but there you go. That's pretty much our lot for today. Thank you so much for coming since about 3 this afternoon. And, oh yeah, it's nearly that time, isn't it? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit ago. We were talking about Oliver and the fact that they've changed their clocks already down under in that neck of the woods. So the Sydney programme coming through a little earlier as well. But anyway, it's nearly that time of the year again when the clocks, they'll go back for an hour on the 26th of October here in this country, marking the end of daylight savings time. And while many see the clock change as a long-standing tradition, there have been calls in recent years for the practice to be abolished, including us here at Global Irish Radio, because it wreaks havoc on our schedule. Can you imagine programs from 3 different time zones? Trying to manage all of that, and the changes, they're staggered. They happen at different times, so it's a nightmare. So sometimes things get screwed up a little bit, but it's because of daylight savings time. Anyway, Sean Kelly, the MEP, has spent nearly a decade campaigning to end the biannual clock change, saying that the system has been proven to have negative effects on health and well-being. We can testify to that. Stress, if you will. Anyway, Kelly has welcomed, a little piece from the Journal that we're sharing with you now on the programme. Kelly has welcomed the fact that talks of abolishing clock changes are back on the agenda at the European Parliament. Wasn't Trump talking about scrapping it as well? We wouldn't agree with him much lately on a lot of things, but we would certainly agree with him on that front, scrapping all this nonsense that's daylight savings times. Anyway, the question is that the Journal posed on their online survey. They do a little survey every day, and the question that they posed to their readers today, should daylight savings time be scrapped? What do you think? Should it be scrapped? Have a little think about that now among yourselves. But don't think about it for too long, because we're almost out of time. Well, yeah, the question was quite simple. Should daylight savings time be scrapped? That's what the Journal asked their readers in their online poll, journal.ie, if you want to see the survey. And an overwhelming 76% said, yes, get rid of it. Scrap it altogether. Then about 19.5%, just under 20% said no. And a confused remainder were unsure. 182 in numbers, but we're not sure what the percentages. A few percent, 3% or 4% or something like that, were unsure. They don't know what day of the week it is, let alone what date it is. But anyway, there you go. That's what the survey says. Get rid of it. And I tend to agree with it. That's pretty much a lot for today, friends. Thank you so much. As always, our quote of the day today. Oh, yes, we have a quote from the great James Joyce. And this is one for the women. I think it is anyway. Maybe for the men too. But anyway, James Joyce said, "The actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts." The actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts. So I think that's geared towards the women more so. Came from the great pen of James Joyce. You've been listening to Daily Crack. You can get all previous episodes at dailycrack.com or check out globalirishradio.com. It reruns later on tonight. That's a lot for today, friends. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow at 3. In the meantime, it's Big Tom. Haven't had Big Tom. Not that Tom. Big Tom of the Mainliners taking us home today and Run to the Door. We'll see you tomorrow at 3. Stay tuned for Oliver, live from Auckland, New Zealand.
Every time a bell rings, every time a bird sings, I run to the door. Every time the wind blows, even though my heart knows, I run to the door. Every day is lonely and your memories only make me want you more. When somebody goes by acting like a fool, I run to the door. Memories that never die, all alone I sit and cry. When I see the sunrise, every time my heart cries, I run to the door. Early in the twilight, even in the midnight, I run to the door. Every day is lonely and your memories only make me want you more. When somebody goes by acting like a fool, I run to the door. Memories that never die, all alone I sit and cry. I hear my heart call, when I hear a footfall, I run to the door. Wishing I could see you, wishing it could be you there at the door. Though you'll never want me, memories will haunt me as I walk the floor. When somebody goes by acting like a fool, I run to the door. Memories that never die, all alone I sit and cry. When I see the sunrise, every time my heart cries, I run to the door. Early in the twilight, even in the midnight, I run to the door. Every day is lonely and your memories only make me want you more. When somebody goes by acting like a fool, I run to the door. Memories that never die, all alone I sit and cry.
Good deeds are great things, and a single good deed can grow into a forest of kindness. At treedeeds.com, you can dedicate a tree in someone's honour and make a lasting impact on the planet. Each tree is deeded and comes with a personalised certificate, perfect for birthdays, holidays, memorials, or just because. Celebrate life, give back to nature, and leave a legacy that grows. Visit treedeeds.com today. That's treedeeds.com. Rooted in Ireland, gifted worldwide.
Then the rain will soon be over, and the sun will shine again on the road on through to Glenn's Heels and the hills along the log. Call me back into my may your wild north wind follow me home.